how's it going? So I thought I'd take a minute here to talk about Dame Dash, and he's not the only one. Oh, by the way, like, share, subscribe, Cash App, $ Winston Spivey. But really, it's a shame that this man goes from $50 million in net worth to what? Barely almost zero. Okay? And I believe that he has more than what he actually says he does. Okay? And I think that he's got some of his assets protected. True that. But still, I just think that, man, I've tried to look at it at different angles. I just think that some of that stuff he's done, man, is not really smart. He's supposed to be, from what I understand, some college educated guy and all that and things like that. But I don't think really he had a lot of really business sense. Now, I wanted to talk about some of the articles that I've looked at, and I probably looked at, 10, 15, 20, probably about 20 articles from different people talking about Jay-Z, everybody from Willie D to Hip Hop Uncensored. I believe No Joke was on Willie D's show. He was interviewing him and this and that, Ticket TV. Several of the guys, The Breakfast Club, when I guess they got into that spat with Charlemagne and them guys or whatever. Now he wants to threaten to sue for defamation, things of that nature. But this guy's got everything from taxes. Okay, I don't know how many taxes that how much in taxes that he owes, but child support. Okay, when I calculated, it's about $1.3 million in child support. Okay, and some type of movie deal that flopped or whatever. Okay, I understand it's like $700,000. So the lifestyle. See, that's the thing that's been killing a lot of these doggone rappers. Then to come to find out, like guys that started out like in the 90s, 2000s, these multi-platinum rappers, if they didn't really invest their money right, or if they didn't get into other things, they end up broke, okay? But a lot of it is, spending these money on women, okay? Having a lot of kids, flying women out, they're going these parties and popping bottles and all that type of stuff, okay? Lavish parties that they be throwing, all right? Now, that's on top of things like getting these big old cribs or whatever, okay? 10, 20,000 square foot cribs, cars and things of that nature. And they cost a lot to maintain these houses, okay? And when the money quit rolling in, okay, then eventually and slowly they end up going bankrupt. Now, okay, and I think this is a lot of stuff that Dame Dash has been doing, okay, have been doing over the years. Now, it's my understanding that he's filing for $25 million bankruptcy, whatever, okay? Either Chapter 7 or 11, all right? Now, this guy's worth $50 million or at one time. So does it really make me think, really makes me think that he really didn't do anything, hardly anything with the money that he earned other than just spent it, okay? Didn't pay no taxes, okay? And he owes money in child support, which means to tell me the guy really didn't pay anything or whatever, okay? Didn't do anything as far as that. Didn't make no investments and all that. Now, I always thought, like, back in the middle 2000s, late 2000s, when Rocafella had dispersed, we used to always get with my boys back home when we would talk. We would talk about, man, why did they end up, breaking up with Jay-Z and all that other stuff. And he found Roc Nation and things like that. And I think that I always thought that they should have kept things in the family, okay? Whatever ideas that Jay-Z had, like he's doing things like a SoundCloud and other things that he's doing, okay? Companies and things like that they could have done that within Rocafella. I believe he was in cigars at one point in time, liquor. I said that they could have kept that, but I probably see why. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I believe that was at one time where Jay-Z needed Dame Dash, and then Dame Dash needed Jay-Z, okay? And they kind of brought that concept together where they had rap and they had clothes and that kind of thing, okay? So I believe that Dame, let's give him credit that he did have a lot to do of helping get Jay-Z where he is, to the point where they broke up. Things of that nature did help hold him down. But they probably got to a point to where I believe maybe Jay-Z had these ideas, and then it's kind of like when it was time for those guys to ante up, okay? And that Rockefeller clique or whatever didn't really nobody have any money because of the lifestyles that they live in and things of that nature. And maybe Jay-Z was going in a different direction, at the time. And, he was about to get married. He's got children now. And maybe, once again, that he had a different vision. So it was one of the things, I believe, in my opinion, for his own benefit, then, he had to cut those guys loose. Okay? But look at where those guys now. Okay, those guys are not doing anything. All right, and I'm not saying that they're broke, but I think that they could have had a lot more than what they're having. I mean, for example, I believe it's Beanie Segal, okay, has got a food truck, and I know that people have still got to work and all that, okay, but all the money they made or whatever, I don't understand that why they couldn't have anything production company like putting on talent and things. That I'm just saying that I believe that they could have came along a lot further. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So particularly like Dame Dash, I believe that, with his smarts and, ingenuity, he could have did whatever he could to try to take care of the Rockefeller brand and things of that nature. Speaking of which, this guy, he got the rights of the project Reasonable Doubt, okay, which is a classic, okay, and he had to use that to pay his taxes, and I'm thinking that Reasonable Doubt's probably got to be worth, I don't know, $25 million, $50 million. If anybody could tell me how much it's worth, okay, but that's like one of the greatest doggone rap albums ever come out. Okay, definitely top 5 in my playbook. I want to say it's probably number 2 or 3. Okay, being where I'm from, and then at that particular point in time with those the rappers at that point in time, considering the guy my age. Okay, but I just think that it was a reflection of Dame Dash, which was supposed to have been in charge or whatever, okay, the CEO, even after Jay-Z left, wasn't, taking care of things. I believe, again, they wasn't making smart choices with their money. There were the lifestyles and things like that, I believe, that led to his demise, okay? So, I don't know, but I hope that some changes will be made. I understand that he's filing a couple of lawsuits and he's able to get bankruptcy and that kind of thing. And Dame Dash, I believe he still has some assets and things like that, probably a small amount. He's probably making a living, maybe, I don't know, from royalties or whatever, but, it ain't going to be like it was back then. But I'm just saying, though, it could have been to a point to where he could have had much more and probably could have kicked back, relaxed at this point, where them guys are like, 55 or 56? I don't know, done this thing on social media. And, he would have probably had plenty left to give to his kids. I don't know if he's got grandkids or what. All right, and now all that is gone. So, sad story there, but hey, I don't know. But it is what it is. A lot of these rappers are broke, or they're turning out broke now, because these guys are really not doing shows anymore, and then social media right now is getting all the doggone clout. Let me know what you think about the video. All right, I'm out.